Now, BBC Upload plays out material that you send in to BBC Radio Nottingham. And I've been trying to delve into the county's poetry scene, because I know Nottingham's got some amazing poets. I discovered a Facebook group, which I'll tell you about a little bit later on yesterday, and went on there and chatted to a few of the poets. And some of the material that's coming in is absolutely stunning, including this one. Now, this is from Paul Turton, who was raised in Bull, now currently living in Watton. I'll tell you more about Paul when you've heard this. And I just fell for this poem, hook, line and sinker, because I think I know the exact place he's alluding to. See if you do with this.
In the early hours of a morning, when bleary-eyed girls and beery-eyed boys emerged from the city's clubs, ears ringing with the sounds of 90s anthems, the mysterious Greek cafe of Hockley existed only in the hours of darkness, in that world between sleeping and waking, where only the city's clubbers and sleeping policemen see. A flickering sign guided the drunken revellers into an atmosphere heady with coffee and garlic, where for only a few coins of a realm you could purchase a frothy cappuccino and hot garlic bread so pungent it could see off the vampiric hordes of Dracula himself. And behind a glass counter an array of sweet and sickly treats shimmered under fluorescent lighting, and sandwiches curled like sleeping children long after their bedtime has passed. In the background, the faint strains of a bouzouki can be heard over the crackling cafe radio, punctured by the zap, zap, zap of an overfilled bug zapper. From a time when fast food closed at midnight and before dodgy burger vans appeared on street corners outside clubs, the mysterious Greek cafe of Hockley was a mecca to those lucky few who could find it. Those enlightened and guided souls filled up on bitter frothy coffee and crusty garlic bread until the taxi queues dwindled into nothingness and the journey home could begin. The next day, head still aching with ale, we searched long and hard, up George Street, down Broad Street and along Heathcote Street. Of the mysterious Greek cafe there was no sign. It had faded away like last night's alcoholic boasts into the memory of those who had found its delights, existing only in the tales of youths who explored the clubs of Nottingham's past. But I like to think that still, in the day of dodgy kebabs and fried chicken chains, in the city that never sleeps, the smell of coffee and garlic still attract those busy revellers before the sun rises once again.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Paul Turton, that is, raised in Bull, currently living in Watnall. He started writing poetry 3 years ago whilst working a redundancy notice, then carried on whilst working away and living in hotels, he says, which I guess it's a great way to while away the hours if you can come up with crafts like that, isn't it? He says the poem takes him back to the nights of drunken clubbing with his mate Glyn and falling out of Ritzys at 2 a.m. looking for a cup of coffee. Now, I remember that era very well indeed, actually, and if I'm not mistaken, the cafe that Paul is talking about is called the Gallery Cafe, and I know exactly what he means because there was something mysterious about it. It was opposite where the Broadway cinema is now, almost. And it was weird because at night time it was like a beacon to the clubbers of Nottingham. People would go in there, it was packed, and then you'd walk by during the day and somehow it was almost like the street had swallowed it up and it had gone. It was extraordinary. It was like Nottingham being two different cities by night and by day. And if you like that poem, there are others on Paul Turton's YouTube channel, along with many other videos on Nottingham local history as well. Please look and subscribe. So, Paul, thank you very much indeed for sharing that. Absolutely brilliant.